Shabbat Shalom. In an era of big data, we count everything. We count calories, and we count steps. We count hours slept well. And I bet some of you even have watches or rings that are testifying to that counting right now as we speak. We count friends, and we count followers. We count likes, and we count clicks. We count everything. If you are Ralph Zuckman, you count swings of the golf club, right? And if you live as a Jew in the 21st century, you are counting all of the anti-Semitic attacks that are taking place. We count everything these days, for better and for worse. But sometimes I think when we get so caught up in our counting, we forget to really focus on that which counts the most. And so it is that we turn this week to Parashat Emor. And no, Jack, I'm not going to be talking about the Kohanim. We'll talk about the holidays, because Jack told us we should talk today about the holidays. And sure enough, in Parashat Emor, it tells us about the biggest holidays for the Jewish people, the ones that go all the way back to biblical times. And in particular, at this time of year, we think about the connection between Pesach, between Passover, and Shavuot, the holiday in which we celebrate giving of the Torah, because we are told right now to count the days from Passover to Shavuot. And it says in the Torah, Usfartem lachem, you shall count these days. From the second day of Passover till the holiday of Shavuot, you count 7 days times 7 weeks for a total of 49 days. And on the 50th day is that holiday of Shavuot. Now the language itself is interesting. It says, Usfartem lachem, you should count for yourselves. What does this extra word mean, lachem? It means God doesn't need us to count. God's got a calendar. God's good on that front, right? God's iPhone is working just fine. But we need to count for ourselves. There's something in it for us. And if we drill down even deeper into this mitzvah, what we come to see is that we're obligated to take note of each and every day for 49 days. God, through Moses, tells us something incredible. In the midst of all of our counting, we Jews are supposed to count time. We're supposed to mark each and every day and to give thanks. And I'll tell you, to me, this is one of the most amazing of mitzvahs, one of the most profound of commandments, is that we are obligated to count our time. Because God knows time goes so fast. If we don't stop and look around once in a while, we just might miss it. So it is that we have this commandment, Usfartem lachem, you should count for yourself these days, 7 days times 7 weeks, 49 days. And it brings us from Passover to Shavuot. It brings us from freedom through redemption. And if we really begin to think about what that is, what these holidays represent for us, we come to see that Pesach, that Passover, is about the holiday of freedom from. God brought us out of the land of Egypt. God brought us away from tyrants and gave us freedom from that oppression. And then God is telling us here 49 days later with the holiday of Shavuot that God gave us freedom from in order to be blessed with freedom to. Freedom to serve God. Freedom to care for other people. Freedom to live a life of meaning and purpose. Freedom to build a society that is just and compassionate. God gave us freedom from in order that we might realize freedom to. And so it is in the midst of this season that we are obligated, Usfartem lachem, you should count for yourself each and every day. You should take note of the blessings that are in your life. and give thanks. So here we are in the midst of this holiday season, in between Pesach and Shavuot. Here we are in the midst of this period on the calendar we call Omer, when we're obligated to count each and every day. And we get to celebrate my friend Jack becoming bar mitzvah. It's no small thing. Jack and Mason are children of this congregation. Sarah and Jeff, you've shared these amazing kids with our community, and we're deeply grateful. But on this day of Jack becoming bar mitzvah, I almost don't recognize him. And it's not because he's a man now. It's because he doesn't have Legos in his hand. And if you know Jack, and we know Jack, that to see him without Legos in his hand means we don't know how he can function anymore. Because he's always running up and down these aisles and onto the bima with Lego in his hand. Now, kids know Lego, but we adults, we know Lego. Rebecca and I have invested a small fortune in Lego. Now, the profound thing about Lego is really two things. One is, if you ever lose a piece of Lego, you can find it just like that, because all you have to do is walk in the area. And no matter what, you're going to step on that little Lego, and it hurts like nobody's business. What's the other profound thing about Lego? Is that it teaches us that life is built block by block, brick by brick, choice by choice, action by action. Lego is an amazing tool for our kids to learn that you don't start with the whole, but the whole is achieved one step at a time. And so it is that we are in this season of our calendar that we remember that the Torah gives us the same advice. The Torah, with its 613 mitzvot, offer us a blueprint to build a life of meaning and purpose, to build a society that is just and compassionate. Those are big projects. Lives of meaning and societies that are just and compassionate are big projects. But we can achieve them if we build brick by brick, block by block, choice by choice. And so I was thinking about this, and how do we get down to the fundamentals of what it is to be a Jew? How can we honor God's mitzvah, usfartem lachem, you should count for yourselves each and every day? How do we begin this path toward meaning and purpose, toward justice and compassion? And I might suggest that the Torah, which is our path to redemption, tells us to focus on three building blocks: faith, family, and fellowship. Faith, family, and fellowship. And within these three blocks, it asks us to ask of ourselves and of others three important questions. The first one, usfartem lachem, you should count for yourselves. Can we in this moment, or in any moment, take the opportunity to begin to count the blessings in our lives? Because we're incredibly blessed. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that everyone in this room has all the food that they need, has clean water to drink. We have roofs over our head. We have love in our lives. We have family, we have friends. We have a community that cares for us, that lifts us, that inspires us. And despite the world in which we live today, most Jews throughout the last 3,000 to 4,000 years would probably trade their time period for ours. We have so much for which to be grateful. And so I think the first thing that our tradition asks of us is to count our blessings and to give thanks. That's faith. That's faith. We count our blessings and we give thanks. The second question we're supposed to ask is of our family, our spouses and partners, our children and our parents, our best friends. And we can turn to them and we can ask of them one question. What can I do for you that will make your life better? Imagine if we take note each and every day and we turn to those who are most important in our lives and we look them in the eyes and we say, what is one thing I can do for you that will make your life better? That's family. That's family. And then once we've done that, we can zoom out just a little bit more. And we can ask ourselves, what is one thing we can do today to make the lives of those in our community a little bit better? Because we are incredibly blessed. And we have so much of ourselves that we can give. Certainly to our family and friends, but also to our community. And God knows there are so many among our community who are in need. Faith, family, fellowship. In what ways am I blessed and how can I give thanks? What can I do for you that will make your life a little bit better? What can I do for others that will make their lives a little bit better too? And when we begin to ask these questions each and every day, we are putting our Legos in place. We are seizing on our building blocks day by day and choice by choice. Because by counting our blessings and counting the ways in which we can help others, we can truly make our lives count. In this week of Parashat Emor, we are commanded, Usfartem lachem. You should count for yourselves. Take note of each and every day, of each and every blessing, of each and every opportunity to serve. Adonai Ozeh Amo Yitain, Adonai Yivarechet Amo Vashalom. May God give us the strength to be aware of all that is good in our lives, the willingness to care for others, and may God bless us all with peace. And let us say together, Amen and Shabbat Shalom.